It's important to understand that we respond to stress in different ways. We can face a similar situation, but our reaction to that situation will be unique to ourselves, but may fall into a kind of cluster of patterns of by behavioral responses. And this reading is helpful to heighten our awareness of those differences. August 10th. At an Al-Anon meeting, we discussed the way our housekeeping habits reflected the effects of addiction. One person shared that his life felt completely unmanageable unless the house was perfectly neat. Tidiness gave him the illusion of control. Others, including me, spoke of floors so strewn with clothes, books, and papers that we could not cross the room without stepping on or tripping over something. I had always considered this just a bad habit until I heard someone share that this clutter was her way of keeping people at a distance, isolating. Then I remembered that in the house where I grew up, clutter had served just this function. I was always afraid to invite friends over because everything was too messy. It was uncomfortable to realize that I was doing the same thing in adulthood that kept me isolated as a child. Today's reminder: by taking a fresh look at what I thought was just a bad habit, I can free my life from some clutter today. I can consider hidden motives for that habit without condemning myself or my family. Clutter doesn't have to be physical. I may find areas of my mental, spiritual, or emotional life that are in disarray. I can heal without making moral judgments about myself or others. Here's the quote: "The Al-Anon program can give me a new view of my world by helping me see myself more clearly." And that's from One Day at a Time in Al-Anon. What is fascinating to me, and I've seen both of these behaviors, are the extremes. So my mother's response to my father's alcoholism was the perfectionist. The house had to be completely tidy and neat. You wouldn't even know that children lived in that house. And she would always say, well, in case someone drops by, but you know, she didn't have friends. She had isolated, and no one of her friends was just going to drop by. If they were a friend of my father's, they didn't care. Interesting, but what is important to think about is what is occurring that creates isolation for us, for the individual and the family members. What's creating isolation in our lives? That it's a big struggle to combat that when you have an addict in your life. Um, I could think of some ways to blow that one up, but I won't share them here. I think they're a little too personal. But at any rate, consider why you feel isolated, why you are isolated, what the source of it is. Is it real? Is it imaginary? How to contend with it, and how to contend with it for the other children in your household. So you may have one person in your household that's isolating themselves and that spills over into the lives of other people, and you've got to, wage war with that. You can't just let things happen. Let it slide. Blessings on your day.